The murmur of the airport terminal felt distant, almost suspended in time, as Jordan Ellison stood at Gate 17B, watching the gate agent's hands tremble. Moments earlier, she had torn his boarding pass in half swiftly, confidently, almost with the precision of someone who had done it before. But now, her fingers hovered above the fragments like she'd just realized she'd cut a wire she shouldn't have touched. There was no scene, no shouting, just a silence thick with realization. Jordan was used to assumptions. They followed him like shadows. At 58, he'd built a career out of defying them, first at Howard, then in boardrooms across the country, and now, as CEO of Apex Meridian Systems, a tech firm contracting with nearly half of the federal government. But the look in the gate agent's eyes wasn't just one of embarrassment. It was something deeper. The moment was collapsing on itself, and she realized too late. She had made the kind of mistake that would echo far beyond a torn ticket. "This ticket, there must be some mistake," she whispered. "There's no mistake," Jordan replied evenly, the calm of decades of executive negotiation coating his voice like steel. "Unless you're referring to your assumption that I don't belong in first class." He placed his business card on the counter. The embossed gold letters glinted under the fluorescent light. Jordan Ellison, Chief Executive Officer, Apex Meridian Systems. It hadn't started this way. 18 hours earlier, Jordan had been staring at the ceiling of his penthouse in D.C., not asleep, not really awake either. Sleep had been a luxury he rarely afforded himself anymore. Years ago, he might have blamed ambition. Today, it was habit. "Good morning, Mr. Ellison," called out Anna, his longtime housekeeper, placing a cup of dark roast Colombian coffee on the marble kitchen island. She'd worked for him for over a decade. Her quiet efficiency was one of the few constants in a life full of motion. "Flight to Chicago is at 9:10, she added. "Car will be downstairs at 6:30. Your Navy suit's pressed." "Thank you, Anna," Jordan replied, glancing at the digital calendar on his tablet. This trip was pivotal. Apex was days away from acquiring Altus Quantum, a firm whose proprietary encryption technology would reshape the cybersecurity landscape for years to come. The CEO of Altus had finally agreed to meet in person after months of negotiations. Jordan would close the deal in a matter of hours. He always did. He dressed meticulously, navy suit, burgundy tie, his lapel pin bearing the Apex insignia. On the way out, he paused by the framed photo in the hallway. His daughter Maya, 25, beaming in her graduation gown from Stanford. They hadn't spoken in 2 weeks, not out of conflict, just distance. The black Lincoln Navigator pulled up exactly at 6:30 a.m. His driver, Reggie, gave a respectful nod. "Morning, sir. Terminal C." "Yeah." First-class check-in. They rode mostly in silence until Jordan's phone lit up. "Maya." "Morning, Dad," she said. Jordan blinked. She rarely called before noon, especially knowing he traveled so early. "Everything okay?" "Yeah, I just wanted to tell you." "I got it." "You got what?" "The Gates Foundation Fellowship. Full funding for the AI Ethics Project." Jordan exhaled slowly, his chest tightening in a way that only her success ever managed to do. "Maya, I'm proud of you. You earned that. I wanted you to know before the press release hits. You'll change lives with this," he said. "Maybe. One line of code at a time." Their call lingered in his mind long after he'd entered the airport. TSA pre-check, lounge access, first class, all routine. Until it wasn't. At Gate 17B, Jordan watched a family of 3 being held up at the counter. A teenage boy named Elijah, his ID reading Elijah Thompson, had a boarding pass that said E. Thomason, a typo, clearly. But the gate agent, Patricia, wasn't budging. "Sir, your ID doesn't match the boarding pass. I've flown with this same ticket. My ID always reads Elijah Thompson." "That's a typo." His parents, dignified but clearly frustrated, tried reasoning. "He has a college tour at Northwestern today," his mother said. "Please." But Patricia was unmoved. Jordan stepped forward. "Excuse me," he said, voice calm. I couldn't help overhearing. "I'm Jordan Ellison. I've worked in federal compliance for years." TSA cleared his ID. "There's no security concern here." It's a typographical error. Sir, Patricia began, flustered. This doesn't concern you. Jordan reached into his pocket and handed her his Apex card. When it involves policy being enforced inconsistently, it concerns all of us. The room grew still. Patricia glanced at the card, her expression shifting. Moments later, her supervisor approved the correction. Elijah was issued a new pass. Thank you, said the father. I am David. This is my wife Janice and our son Elijah. Elijah, Jordan said, what are you planning to study? AI and policy integration. I want to make sure algorithms don't become modern-day Jim Crow. Jordan smiled. My daughter's in AI ethics. You two would get along. After the Thompsons settled nearby, Jordan approached the counter to check in. Jordan Ellison, first class to Chicago. Patricia hesitated. There's an issue with your booking. Jordan raised an eyebrow. Your boarding pass says 2A, but our system shows you in 14's economy. That's incorrect. Patricia typed rapidly. Our manifest doesn't show you in first class. Jordan showed her his app. Confirmation, 2A. Platinum member. Frequent flyer. Nothing about this is wrong. She looked at it, looked back at her screen, and then, with unnerving ease, tore the boarding pass in half. We'll need to issue a corrected pass for 14C. The sound of paper ripping cracked something inside him, not just the ticket, but the weight of decades. He had stood in this moment too many times. Before you print anything, Jordan said, pull up my account. Number, AMX 77410. Patricia hesitated, then typed. Her eyes widened. And now, Jordan added, I suggest you call your supervisor again. Ask her what the protocol is when a premium platinum executive's confirmed seat is relocated without cause. Her face drained of color. There must have been a glitch, she mumbled. No, Jordan said, his voice even. There was an assumption. He slid the same card across the counter, gold letters gleaming once more. Her eyes scanned it. Patricia couldn't speak. Not first. Jordan turned. Elijah and his parents watched from the seating area. David gave a solemn nod. Jordan returned it. Minutes later, Patricia's supervisor, a woman named Cheryl, approached. Mr. Ellison, I want to sincerely apologize. This was a mishandling, and your original seat is reinstated. We've also added a service voucher to your profile. Thank you, Jordan said. I'd also like to upgrade 3 passengers. The Thompson family. Cheryl blinked. All 3? Yes. We may be full. Jordan leaned in slightly. Double check. I think you'll find a room. Sure enough, 3 first-class seats became available. Elijah looked stunned as he received his new pass. Thank you, Mr. Ellison. 2 didn't expect this. Jordan smiled. First-class minds deserve first-class treatment. Boarding began. Tyler Grant, a junior analyst from Jordan's company, joined him in the cabin. They reviewed integration notes on the Altus acquisition. Across the aisle, Elijah beamed as he explained facial recognition flaws to his mother. The flight passed in discussion and reflection. For Jordan, the confrontation wasn't new, but the impact in Elijah on Patricia, even on himself, felt different this time. In Chicago, Jordan's meeting with Altus proceeded smoothly. He introduced Tyler mid-presentation, allowing the young man to shine. The Altus CTO was impressed. Afterward, back at the Palmer Hotel, Jordan called Maya again. You know, he said, I was reminded today of why we build things. Because they last. Because of who we build them with. They spoke longer than they had in months. He told her about Elijah. About Tyler. About the gate agent's assumption. I think I've spent too long proving I belong in places I already earned a seat in, he said. Maybe it's time to bring more people with you, Maya offered gently. He nodded, even though she couldn't see him. Later that night, he dined with the Thompson family in a quiet restaurant downtown. They spoke of policy, AI, faith, resilience. Jordan felt something he hadn't in years connection without performance. Before bed, he sent a final email to Maya Ellison. Subject, visit. I'm taking 3 weeks off next month. I like to spend some of it in San Francisco. No meetings. Just you, me, and time. Love, Dad. And then another. To Patricia Reynolds. Subject, reflection. Patricia, we all make mistakes. What defines us is whether we learn from them. Jordan, he closed his laptop, exhaled deeply, and went to bed. Not as a CEO, not as a man defending his seat, but as a builder finally remembering what Woho was building for.